Okay, hello and welcome, Chris here, and in this video I'm going to walk you through the CB5000, which is basically a database of the top selling ClickBank niches for info product sellers, people like myself and yourself, people who are going to sell either ebooks or software. Now the first thing you'll notice is I've put ClickBank etc, because even though ClickBank is one network and this is going to show us what's selling on ClickBank, we can also extrapolate that to the wider information product business. So I've put here, this is the only software tool in the world that does all of this in a billion dollar a year business. So ClickBank's net, they don't formally release their revenue income every year, but when they do, it's typically anywhere from 200 to 300 million dollars. I estimate that the info product business, i.e. relatively small time individuals like myself and yourself selling ebooks and software, is worth somewhere around $1 billion per year. So ClickBank is kind of a good approximation of what's selling, not just on ClickBank but across all of the affiliate networks and even people who are selling it outside of affiliate networks through their own PayPal accounts and their own merchant accounts and things like that. So for these reasons, it's really the ultimate brainstorming tool to find the very best niches to target. Now there's a few uses for the CB5000. You can research it to find niches that you want to create a product in. You can research it to find traffic sources that the products that you're thinking of sort of modeling after are potentially targeting themselves. So once you've found a niche, you can see exactly where those guys are getting traffic. I don't suggest you rely exclusively on this. You should also use other tools such as SimilarWeb and some of the other methods I talk about in the niche selection video in terms of getting traffic. I think it's like about sort of 2/3 of the way into the videos there, focused on can we get traffic within that unstuck formula that I talk about. And we can also use CB5000 to see what type of sales letters are selling in your niche. So are they video sales letters? Are they text sales letters? Is there a ton of proof? Are there elements that we can copy? Could we create a similar sales letter is really the question. And if so, then we'll go ahead and create it. And if not, then it's probably best that we move on to another niche. So it's really the indispensable tool for any marketer who wants to dominate their niche. So let me just show you exactly how the tool works and run through some possible use cases. So the first thing you'll see is we have this filter by niche option, and these are ClickBank's own categories. So for example, in terms of internet marketing, it's kind of a bit hit and miss really. These categories have evolved sort of out over time, but they've not really been changed that much, even though obviously trends change and there's no internet marketing category as such. There's e-business and e-marketing. There's no dieting category, there's health and fitness. So the categories here can be a little bit hit and miss, and so you may decide to look at some of our keywords down here which have been pulled from the title. But anyway, let's for example choose e-business and e-marketing, which is kind of going to show us internet marketing products. You can see there's 118 products that will show up. If I click clear form, you can see that there are 1,638 products in total on here. Basically there's like 20,000 products I think on ClickBank, but what we've done is you've only pulled in the products that have got at least a gravity of 10. If it's selling, if it's got a gravity of 1 or 2, it's got a gravity of 0, and we're not really interested because they're not making much money. It is possible to make a full-time living from a product that's got a gravity of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so that's kind of the sweet spot, and that's what our focus is. You can see we can also filter by different types. So the first filter is gravity. Now there are two basic filters here. One is a minimum, so show products with a gravity of at least 20, 50 or 100, and the second one is to show products with a gravity of less than 20. And the only reason that you'd really show products with a gravity of less than 20 is if you wanted to find products that you can potentially partner with. So basically JVs who aren't selling, maybe they've got a good product but the marketing's terrible, you can reach out to them and send them a similar email to the kind of email that we'd be selling from JV Valley. In other words, do you want to do some kind of a deal? You're not really going to be able to see it from there, but this kind of email template here. And that's one possible use case for that. So you'd probably do a search like under 20 gravity, and then e-business and e-marketing, and that's going to bring up 100 products that you can go through and reach out and see if they want to do some kind of a joint venture potentially. But let's just clear the form. I don't think that's the main use case for this, by the way, which is why I'm moving on from it quite quickly. Another thing we can look at is the Alexa of the product. Oh, and sorry, in terms of gravity, I suggest generally that you do a search. Either don't use this, or if you do use it, then maybe do 20 or above. If you start doing things like the top 100 gravity, it's going to bring up very, very few products. And there's not really too much point. I think generally within this we do provide the filter to do that, but within this database all of these products are selling, so you don't really need to be too restrictive here. The second filter is to filter by Alexa rank. Now Alexa rank is Alexa's basically, Amazon, it's kind of funny, Amazon actually bought Alexa.com I think maybe 5 or 10 years ago, and Alexa originally was a site and still is a site that will tell you the popularity of different websites on the internet. And the lower the Alexa, the more popular the site is. So for example, Google has an Alexa rank of 1 because it's the most popular site on the internet. Facebook has an Alexa rank of 2. My most popular sites have got an Alexa rank of somewhere in the region of maybe anywhere from maybe 10,000 up to 200,000, depending on how much traffic I'm driving to the site on that day. So on a day that I launch, I might have an Alexa rank of anywhere from sort of 3,000 up to maybe 10,000. So an Alexa rank of under 100,000 is good. It's definitely possible to make a full-time living. In fact, the thing with Alexa is it's not super duper accurate, so you will find sites. There are people I know who have websites that have got an Alexa rank in the low millions, so like they've got the millionth most popular site on the internet, which sounds really terrible, but they're actually making a full-time living. So it's not super duper accurate, especially once you start to get out into the hundreds of thousands and the millions. But we've provided this here because the gravity number in itself isn't always that accurate. So the problem with gravity is it basically tracks the number of affiliates, unique affiliates who've generated sales for that product. So if a vendor is promoting the product themselves, then it won't really show up with the gravity number. And likewise, if only a few affiliates are promoting a product, but they're driving an absolute ton of sales, it can still have a low gravity. So in theory, I could have a product that I'm selling myself. No affiliates are promoting it because they don't know about it. I've not been bothered to reach out to the affiliates, and I'm driving 10,000 sales per day, and I'll have a gravity of 0. Likewise, I might only have 2 affiliates who are promoting the product, and they're generating 10,000 sales per day, and it's going to have a gravity of 2. Alexa though will actually show us the traffic that the site gets, and like I say, it's not always super accurate, but by using that Alexa filter we can sort of get a second idea of how the sites are doing. So you can see there's like 1,600 sites on here. If I go with an Alexa of under 100,000, then you'll see that it only brings up 42. So we've still got pretty much what the top 10 currently looks like, but you can see for example SaleWho, which is number 4, based on on us filtering by under 100,000 Alexa. If I was to clear the form and then go ahead and look for SaleWho on this page, you can see it's number 17. And the thing about SaleWho is this is a product that's been around. It's actually by a guy called Mark Ling. I know that he promotes this himself. I know he has a handful of affiliates who promote it and drive a ton of traffic, and you can see his Alexa's 45k. And they've got about $130,000 per month worth of SEO traffic that's coming to this site. So in other words, this site has only got a gravity of 88, but I would guess it's probably doing high 6 figures per year, maybe even low to medium 7 figures per year. And that's something that just by selecting the Alexa and showing the top 100,000, you're going to have a better idea of balancing out the fact that not every product is going to have a ton of affiliates. There might only be a few affiliates. The vendor might be promoting it themselves, and that's not going to be reflected in high gravity, but it will be reflected in the traffic and therefore in a low Alexa. So one idea would be to have an Alexa of maybe under 250,000. That's going to filter the number down. It's only going to show the top 10% or so of products. If we go with under 500,000, it's only going to show the top 200 products. So it's one possible avenue that you could approach. We can also filter by the commission, and we've chosen, instead of going for the commission percentage here, we've chosen to go for the commission dollar value. In other words, what is the average dollar value that in commissions that I could expect if I was an affiliate and I was going to promote one of these products? So at the very, very top end we have $70, and that's going to filter down the number slightly. And then we can go all the way down to $40, $20 and so. And what you'll find with a lot of these products is they generally have a pretty high maximum commission payout because they are, some of the most popular products. So again, that's another one that's not going to filter down by too much, just like the Gravity, but we do provide it as an option. Pay-per-click and display and SEO. So this is where we come in onto the traffic and where the traffic for a given site is coming from. So in the case of pay-per-click, it has to be said there aren't a ton of websites on ClickBank that are getting pay-per-click traffic. The reason for that is that Google, around sort of 5 to 10 years ago, started to clamp down on aggressive sales letters that were running on Google AdWords. Other kind of sites like Bing is kind of a lot more open to those things. And Bing also lets you run on Yahoo as well, so that is one traffic source. But in terms of Google, you'll find that a lot of these sites would love to be able to run on Google PPC, but they're not able to because they're not allowed to. So if at the very top end, if we select $1,000 or more, then you'll see that it'll bring up just 25 sites. These sites are generating a lot of traffic, as you can see from pay-per-click. So this vehicle check one, spending about 5k a month, so presumably it's doing at least 5k. Survival frog, survivalist niche is big on pay-per-click, and so on and so forth. But really, if you are going to do this one, I'd probably just set it at $100 and just research from there. Another one you can look at is display ads. So we don't see the actual dollar value that's being spent here, but what we can track is the number of display ads that are running at any given time. So for example, if I choose more than 10 display ads, you'll see there are 71 products that are running with display ads. Now a display ad is basically an advertisement that is a banner ad that's run either through the Google Ad Network or similar networks such as the Yahoo search, or the Yahoo Content Network rather. And so this is kind of interesting because it's actually easier to get on the content network than it is to get on the search network. Even with Google, you'll find that you can run ads on the banner network that you wouldn't be able to run on the search network itself. Another good one is SEO, and you'll see that there's actually a ton of sites that do get a lot of SEO traffic. So if I go with $1,000 per month or more, you'll see that 100 sites here are getting more than $1,000 per month in SEO traffic. And of course, we can also try and compete in these niches ourselves. The cool thing, by the way, about SEO traffic is even if we don't have the patience to go ahead and target these different keywords via SEO and spend the time to rank, what we can do is we can find sites that are appearing on those same keywords that these sites are ranking and either get them to run our ad by advertising ads on those sites, or potentially go ahead and actually try and rank for those keywords. We also track the price of the product in question, so you can target $47 or above, of which there's 250, or you can target low ticket, which is under 27, of which there's again 237. It's a matter of personal preference, really. I personally like to go with the lower price products, but then there's also an argument to say that if you do go with a higher price product, then generally those are the better markets, because if people are willing to spend 47, 67, 49, etc., etc., 97 on a product, then they are probably very passionate buyers, and so that can always be a useful search to run. And one point as far as price goes, not all of them track. So you can see, for example, for Numerologist, Red Seas Detox, we weren't able to extract the price. Without going into too much detail, that's because of the way that we crawl the pages and pull that price information in. And then finally we have a brand number. So essentially what this is if you may remember from the training I talked about how we can look at the YouTube results, and we can look at either the organic results showing up for a keyword. So if you go to YouTube and you search numerologist, you can also look at that, and you can also look at the number of views that videos that are ranking for that keyword get. And so what I've done is I've basically gone with the first method, which is how many videos are showing up for the product name of the product on YouTube. So if I select 10,000, you can see we end up with 100 products. If I select 3,000, then we end up with 247 products. And this is kind of another one that's similar to Alexa in that it will show you the rough competition of, or the rough popularity of a site, of a product, irrespective of how many affiliates are promoting it. So another useful search you could do is, for example, under 500,000 Alexa, which brings it to 205, and over 1,000 brand results, which brings it to 85. And you know that all of these are going to be good selling products, and it's going to extract a few here that are good selling products that we can target. So that is a useful search for you. Let me just clear the form and talk about the stats. So essentially when we crawl these pages, to extract all this information, we look for a few different opportunities, and one of which is their affiliate page that we can find on the site. Some of the affiliate pages will appear within the description anyway, as you can see, and we can actually click on these links and actually hover over them to get a quicker preview if we need to. But we also crawl the site itself and look for affiliate pages. So if I click on the affiliate link here, you'll see that for about 2/3 of them we can find the affiliate page, and it's this link here, which is this little coin icon. In most cases this will be the exact same as the link here, but on some occasions it will actually be slightly different, so it can be useful to have that as an option. And we also have email lists, and this is basically going to show us whether or not the product is collecting emails. So for example, this one here requests an email before you buy, so does this one here. Now, one point regarding this, it is possible for people to promote a product, or for people rather to sell a product, and then people buy, and then you collect an email. So in other words, I do this with my own list. I build up a list of buyers. Some people do prefer to collect an email before the purchase or on the order form, so it'll say enter your email, and then once they enter their email, it'll then redirect through to the buy button. This can be a useful way to actually see if there are people building a list on the front end, and you can potentially do the same yourself. Of course, you know that person's building a list, and you can reach out to them and potentially partner with them. The exit button here is going to show you whether or not the site is collecting, if the site's going to have an exit pop on it. And the reason that this is relevant is because the most aggressive sites generally will have exit pops, and also generally a lot of the search networks, the pay-per-click networks such as Google and Bing, won't allow you to run exit pops. So if you see a site with an exit pop on there's a good chance that they're not running on pay-per-click, and that they're getting their traffic from other places where that isn't an issue. And plus, of course, if you do go into niche, you'll want to do the same. Facebook and Twitter, that just shows that we found Facebook and Twitter code on the page, so they probably do have a Facebook page and a Twitter page, which you can target via Facebook or Twitter ads if that shows up as an interest, or you can just reach out to them and do a blast, or you can just think to yourself, you know what, these guys are obviously running on those two places, and so if I'm going to enter this niche, I should also be targeting social traffic. And video is one to show whether or not the site has a video on its page, so whether it's got like a YouTube video or a Vimeo video or an MP4 video. And the reason that matters is maybe you want to enter a site that does have videos, or enter a niche rather that requires videos, or maybe you don't, and that will show you whether or not those sites have got video on them. And then the final one is who is, which is basically the email address for the person in question. And so if I hover over this here, you can see it's going to pull up the email address of the person who owns the site. It's going to put their product name in the subject, and then you can reach out to them and ask them for a JV, ask them if they can promote your offer, that kind of thing. So for example, you could do a search which is, let's say, betting systems. Check the Whois box, and you can see that there are 25 potential vendors who you could reach out to. Just click the Whois button and shoot them an email. Hey, I saw your site, blah blah blah. Would you like to promote my offer, etc., etc. So quite a few options there in terms of the filtering that we can do. The niches I've talked about is basically the same filter as here, but this time shown as keywords. The top keywords, essentially what we've done is we've crawled the products in question, we've crawled their page, and we've pulled up the top keywords. So you can see the word affiliate appears a lot, the word video, money, CB, live, traffic. Now, one word of warning regarding this. The keywords we have here come from a few places. They come from the title of the product, they come from the site itself. So if I just click on this, for example, the word tap into numerologist analysis, all of these would be added to the database for this particular product here, and then we basically pull in the most common 5 words for that product. So it's the title of the product, it's the sales page, the 5 most common words, but it's also the description as well. And that's part of the reason, because it's the description that you have words like affiliate and money. That's not just a reflection of the product and the words on the sales page, it's also a reflection of the description, which is tailored to affiliates. So just something to bear in mind there. But I do recommend you pay attention to the keywords that show up here. They will definitely guide you towards what's selling. In fact, a lot can be said for just sort of sitting up here and just playing around with some of the results up here, and then just looking and seeing which words appear within the keyword section. So EL is a Spanish word. I think it means there. I do apologize for those who speak fluent Spanish. But the fact that you can see it's not an English word, certainly it's I think that's like a foreign language Spanish word. So that shows that Spanish offers are popular and have a low Alexa rank. Likewise, the word affiliate, the word free, the word survival, etc., etc. These are all things that could be of interest to you. So, just playing around with these and looking at the keywords, and then when you see one you like, just click on it. So I'll just click on natural there, and it's going to show the 109 products that relate to the natural niche. And again, this is useful because other people won't see this. They'll just be restricted to either having to run searches themselves on ClickBank, which isn't going to suggest words like this, or having to use the drop downs here, whereas we can just play around with these different search options. Just click on Clearform, click on exercise, have a look at the sites that show up, click on Clearform, play around with it, click on energy, and so on and so forth. So just to move on from that, you can see that as you run these searches, it will show the number of products, and it will also show the total gravity that all those products have, which can also be useful to kind of show the total, rough sales of the products. Moving on to the columns itself, you can see the ranked by gravity. We have the title of the product. Clicking on this will go through to the sales page. And these are actually the hop links. So if I right click on this, this will actually be my affiliate link if I was to promote it. We can hover over here to see a preview of the sales letter. This will show us the opportunity. So we have an exit pop, we have the affiliate page, we have a video, and we have the Whois for the product. And some of them you'll see, I'm just looking for one that's got Facebook or Twitter. It doesn't look like any of these do. So obviously in the energy niche, Facebook and Twitter aren't really used to promote the products. We have the niche itself, which is the ClickBank niche. We have the product price, the description, the link to the affiliate page, and if I hover over this, then it will give us a preview of the affiliate page. The Alexa I've talked about, SEO, PPC and display I've talked about. That's going to show you roughly where the traffic's coming from. And if we see a product that we like, we just click on save. We can unsave it or save it, and it's then going to appear in the saved products page. So my best piece of advice to get you started with this, play around with the different keywords here, play around with some of the search filters, but in particular play around with the keywords here. Find products that you like the look of within niches that you like, that you could consider entering. Don't be too restrictive, just see one that you like, and have a look. Oh, that Alexa seems low. That seems like they're getting traffic from SEO. It seems like it's in a niche I'm interested in. Maybe look at the affiliate page, and the affiliate page shows some of the money that's being made. Maybe it's a high price one. Maybe it's got a Facebook page. Whatever it is, just click on save and just scroll through and save ones that you like the look of. And then after a while, you'll build up to have 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 products in the save page. And it's just a really cool way to get started researching different possible niches. So that pretty much covers it for the CB5000 in this overview walkthrough video. Hopefully that's cleared up how some of these features work. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.